You've done the core exercises, you've done the glute training drills, maybe you fixed your posture, you've done everything the experts have told you to do, yet you're still in pain. Today I want to introduce a new way of healing chronic low back pain that I'm willing to bet you've never been told about. And I'm not just going to tell you what it is, I'm going to give you some practical things that you can actually implement to start getting relief today. Before diving in, if you insist on continuing to work out despite your low back pain, make sure you're at least building workouts that are for chronic low back pain sufferers. I teach you how to do this, from exercise choice, the reps, the sets, the order of exercises inside of my pain-free training blueprint. Just go to fitnessforbackpain.com/pain-free training, download that free guide, head to the gym, and follow exactly what I tell you to do, and your back's gonna thank you for it. fitnessforbackpain.com/pain-free training. There'll be a link in the description for that free guide. Now, 17 years ago, I was diagnosed with an L5-S1 ruptured disc along with degenerative discs above that site. The first strategy that I was given was exercise, PT, physio, right? And even my chiropractor, after adjusting me, was giving me exercises. And that's what I was really learning and doing anyways at that season of my life. I was a personal trainer, I was fresh out of college. I was in what I would consider the best shape of my life. And despite applying the exercises, the strengthening, conditioning exercises that the experts were telling me to do, I was still in lots of pain. And this is actually a really common situation, right? Trying to apply exercise to a chronic back pain situation. It was the case for one of my students, Alia, who was battling chronic back pain, trying to apply exercises that experts were giving her, and she didn't see any relief until she started to change the way she approached her exercise and back pain strategy, which I'm going to talk to you here about more today. The same thing goes with Matt, sciatica, severe amounts of back pain when standing and exercising, to the point where he couldn't even hold or lift 10 pounds for almost 2 years due to the debilitating back pain that he was dealing with. And crazy story, Ron, after 4 back surgeries, after blowing out his lower 2 discs in an accident, that he had tried everything to get relief, even exercise that the experts were giving him, it changed once he started to implement the things that I'll be talking about here today. The old way of treating chronic low back pain is to strengthen, right? Get moving, strengthen your core, build back strength. And if you build strength in these areas, your pain will just manage itself or disappear once these muscles have become strengthened. The problem is, despite how much stronger you've gotten from the exercises you're doing, your nervous system is still taxed. It's still fearful. It's still avoiding a lot of movements like bending and twisting and lifting certain things or certain ways, because you know it's still going to cause you pain. So if your strength has increased, but your nervous system and your pain system is still throwing red flags and sounding the alarm, you're not actually getting any relief. In fact, you're stuck in a cycle of pain. So instead of feeling free, capable, strong, your brain feels kind of stuck in protection mode. And this is not solved by adding more strength training to your program, not continuing to do the same exercises that you think are working or maybe giving you some short-term relief in hopes that one day it's just going to stick. All this will really do is create more of a fear response, more of a guarded protection mechanism response in your body, further keeping you on this hamster wheel of symptoms. The new way of treating chronic low back pain is what I teach my students, called the hybrid relief method. And it's made up of 3 key healing mechanisms that you have to do in this specific order for a very specific reason. Those 3 mechanisms are desensitizing your body and nervous system, building tolerance back in your body, in your low back, in the muscles, and then bulletproofing the low back and the body based off the results that you've gotten. So you're focusing, each critical mechanism is built off of the one before. You can't put the bulletproofing before the desensitizing. You can't put the tolerance building in front of the bulletproofing, or vice versa. You have to do it in a very specific order if you want your body to calm this pain and fear response down, to accept the exercises, the strengthening, the movement drills that you are trying to do but not getting any relief doing. So for you, let's put the strengthening stuff aside and focus on calming things down. And we do this with what I call my reset protocol. There are 3 key things that you are doing with this reset protocol. Number 1 is, what are the movements, exercises, habits, routines that feel good? What movements feel good to you, but at the same time, what movements also feel bad? Make a list of these 2 types of movements. It could be bending, twisting, extending, you name it. If it's movement and feels good to your back, write it down. If it's a movement that feels bad to your back, write this down. Make 2 lists. The second thing, look at your life. What are the things in your life that you keep doing that are poking the bear of these movements? How are you repeating these very common movements throughout your day, both in an active way, as in like you're cleaning and doing things, or in a passive way? You're sitting, you're sleeping in these common positions or movements that during the day cause you pain. The third key thing is, what symptom treatment strategies do you keep applying to your body in hopes of calming these symptoms down? So as you are moving throughout the day, you're doing these bad negative movements and exercises or whatever it is that you're doing that's causing you pain. Now you're applying symptom treatment strategies. It might be aspirin, Tylenol, it might be stretches, it might be getting adjusted, it might be going to yoga, it might be having a TENS unit on your back, heating pads, ice packs. Whatever you're applying, look at what you are applying to these negative symptoms. These 3 things are critical if you ever want to flip the switch from being in pain, not sure what's causing pain, doing everything, to actually seeing the transformational healing process that you've been looking for all these years. The problem that I see with 98% of chronic low back pain sufferers who come to me saying,
hey, I've tried this, I've tried injections, I've tried exercise, I've tried core training, I don't want to have surgery, I don't want to have a repeat surgery, and every time I go to the gym I feel good, but the pain always comes back.
It's because they have never taken their body and brain through the process of calming everything down and then reintroducing these things at a very specific pace. This is why the desensitizing phase of your program has to be such an important factor in what you do, because without the desensitizing phase, it's very hard to confidently build tolerance back in these tissues, because you've done rehab. You've done core training, you've done glute activation, you've done the bridges, you've done the clams, you've done this stuff, and it hasn't worked. So what are you gonna do? Dumb down those exercises even more? You're just gonna lay in bed and breathe and take medication, hoping that things will just shut off on their own? No, like, you wanna be active. Odds are you are already sort of active. You like exercise, you like using your body in the things that you enjoy doing, like your hobbies. So if it's not the exercises, if it's not more injections, if it's not surgery, if it's not you continuing to just research and experiment with exercises, it's gotta be something different. If you wanna see the rest of the process that I take students through and that I took my own personal self through after rupturing my disc and being diagnosed with degenerative discs above that site, living with almost a decade of chronic low back pain, it wasn't until I found these 3 key things, put them together, that my back literally transformed and I healed all the symptoms and all the pain that I was dealing with on a daily basis. I don't take medication, I never had a fusion, and I canceled my injections. If you wanna see the process, the principles that I applied, go to fitnessforbackpain.com/relief workshop. It's yours free, you can watch it and keep it as long as you want. fitnessforbackpain.com/relief workshop. There will be a link in the description of this video where you can check out that workshop and get all the goodness of what you should be doing. Thanks for watching. God bless, and I will see you on the next episode.